Fantastic, fantastic. Hello, everyone. Well, I am glad to see everyone in this space today. And I'm glad to see that you are here to get to know our Latinx Hispanic students here at Tulsa Community College. And so today is the first of three events kind of celebrating our National Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month. And I'm so excited that I am here today. I introduce myself. I will be your facilitator for this discussion, this conversation. My name is Nate Todd. I am the Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion here at Tulsa Community College. And we are so excited to be here today. So we will have one other student join us today. They are currently jumping on and getting set up, but I am going to get it started. I know that our students are excited to be with us today. And what the first thing I would like to do is for our students to introduce themselves. And with that introduction, of course, we want them to kind of tell us their major and what year are they, freshman, sophomore, and of course, why did you choose Tulsa Community College? So I am going to start out with Patty. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Patricia Angelica Pineda. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. I moved to Oklahoma. My older sister lived here, and I fell in love with it. I'm a business major, sophomore. I chose Tulsa Community College. Actually, it kind of fell in my lap with the military. I am a United States Navy disabled veteran, and I've never been to school. I'm a single parent of two children. I just kind of felt the need to, as parents, we push our children to do better, and I felt I needed to do the same. So the VA actually hooked me up with TCC, and it has been life since, and I love it.
Fantastic. Alicia.
Hi, my name is Alicia Saldana. I was born and raised here in Tulsa. I live in East Tulsa, as you know, here they call it Little Mexico. My major is ASL Education Interpreting. I chose it because when I first started TCC, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and after taking ASL, it was something like I fell in love with. The reason I chose TCC is because, I grew up in an area where, it's more urban and I don't really have like huge funds to go to university, and it was through Tulsa Achieves that I found out about Tulsa Community College. And it actually helped me a lot with finding the career I want to pursue.
Fantastic. You know what? I want to let everyone know that's actually in the audience that if you have any questions for the students today, please put it in the chat section or the question and answer section, and we will address those today. But please, if you have any questions for our students, please shoot them to us, and we'll be able to ask those students those questions. And so, Patty, Alicia, just to start out this conversation, I wanted to talk because we're in the National Hispanic Latinx Heritage Month. Now, what is so interesting about that is this term Latinx, right? In certain parts of the world or certain parts of the country, it's just Hispanic Heritage Month. In other parts, it's Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month or just Latinx Heritage Month. So my question to you is, um, uh, uh, what is the difference between Hispanic and Latinx in your own words, and which do you prefer?
Okay, well, the difference between Hispanic and Latinx is Hispanic are those in Spanish-speaking countries, while Latinx comes from the Latin term of it. So this is like Latin America and um, countries like Puerto Rico and stuff like that. And the X was recently added a couple years ago, I believe, to add inclusion for our LGBTQ community if they don't identify with female or male terms.
So, as Alicia was saying, um, Hispanic is more of the general term used for outside countries. Um, Latinx does definitely have a better version of inclusion as opposed to, oh, Latino or Latina. Um, Personally, it's honestly never bothered me if they use either or. I'm not, I know some people find Latinx offensive, which I don't understand why. But to me, it kind of it opens up the opportunity for conversation, which is very much needed because a lot of people like to identify, oh, I am Hispanic, but then what is Hispanic? So to me, it kind of Latinx puts it in that category of now we're talking about being Latin, the Latin community, and actually being able to speak about who you are and what you are, not just being a Hispanic.
Mm, mm. Which I think that's really interesting, and that we will want to. I kind of want to go a little bit farther into that. And I have another one of our panelists, and I want to make sure that we introduce her too. But Karen, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself and your major and what year you are.
Hello guys, nice to meet you. Sorry I'm late. At work. So my name is Karen Espinosa. I'm the president for the Hispanic Association, and I'm studying foreign languages right now. So my minor is in Japanese. So thank you for having me.
Fantastic. And so I want to I want to dig deeper into this conversation of, Patty said that she really did not, get riled up on this term, Latinx or Hispanic or uh, what you should call yourself. But you know what? Here we always group people together, right? And we're like, okay, if we're talking about one group from one area, then we're talking about them all. Do you feel that uh, it's important to have those separate identities, or continue to have uh, this general term for everyone?
As for myself, honestly, nobody even knows I am Hispanic or Latinx. Nobody knows. Everybody just categorizes me as that black girl. I do look like a black girl. I speak, and even though my last name, my father's from Panama, nobody would know that I speak Spanish. Nobody knows I read it, write it, unless we've actually had a discussion or you see me with the group. So I actually am an oddball out compared to a lot of people. Personally, it doesn't offend me, but I think that healthy conversations are needed because people tend to categorize, like you said. And I know who I am and what I am, so it doesn't bother me. But for out of respect of everyone, I feel like we need to stop doing the categorizing. And
Mhm.
if you're just black, you're black, or if you're just Hispanic, you're Hispanic, or whatever the case may be, whatever the race is, ethnicity, it should not matter.
I've actually met a lot of people that it does bother them when it's categorized, because a lot of Latin American countries, they don't speak Spanish, so they find it like offensive that people automatically assume that they're Hispanic because they come from like South America, like Brazil or something, and they speak Portuguese but not Spanish, so they wouldn't be categorized as Hispanic. And then also with some, I haven't met many. I've met like 2 people that don't like being called like Latinx, like Latino, Latina, Latinx, because they don't feel it like themselves that they're not Latin. Um, it also hurts the community a lot generalizing, because a lot of, like, we're all different countries, we have our own traditions, and it's not just one thing. It's basically like saying that everyone is Mexican. Not everyone is. Patty's not. I am, and Garen is, but we have some members of HSA that are not. We have Peruvians and Colombians, and so it is harmful in the long run, because it in a way erases everyone else's cultures, because one culture is being put in the spotlight but everyone else isn't.
If I'm
Wow. Go ahead, please, please.
That is absolutely one of the biggest things that I have seen, especially here in Oklahoma. I have a lot of Mexican friends. I love Alicia. I love Karen. They do what she said a lot. The whole, if I do open my mouth and speak Spanish, oh, so you speak Mexican. I did not know Mexican was a language, but okay. So it is something that is absolutely an issue. I do, like I said, I think it's a personal stance of whether or not you let it affect you,
Mhm.
but having conversations about being able to differentiate is a big difference. It is very much needed, just out of respect for humans, period.
Mhm. What's so interesting about what you are saying is, I think, Alicia, you said it very beautifully, is that by putting everyone together, you're erasing other cultures, right? And I think that's very hurtful, right? In the long run, or making the assumption that all Hispanic Latinx people look the same, right? I mean, I don't know if you're able to speak about, you talk about the difference and this overall look as we look down. We know the difference, but is there a is there a difference depending on what area of the United States you live in, on how they kind of identify and their feelings on these issues? So I guess what I'm asking is, I mean, as you talk to students across the nation, if you know any students across the nation or in different areas, are they having these same conversations and issues?
So no, I can tell you, growing up in New York City, it was never really a conversation. If
Mm,
you are, you are. I feel like here in Oklahoma, it's a lot more because we do have more of the Latinx, presence in the community. Um, Growing up, it never was a conversation ever had from where I'm from, Brooklyn. It just wasn't something that people cared to talk about and mattered.
mm.
um Here, like, I've met people that it does bother them a lot, um because, you know, we have more than just Mexicans here in Oklahoma. Like I said before, we have Peruvians, Colombians, and a lot of people don't ask the questions. And I've actually met people who get very offended by it. And it like causes kind of a hatred a little bit towards other Hispanics and Latinos, Latinx, any of them, because, you know, they're like, well, everyone automatically assumes I'm Mexican, so they get angry about it because they try to explain, but they're still generalized in that category.
You know, what's so interesting, there was a question that came through, and I know that you probably do not know the answer to this question, but the question was, why does the U.S. demographics ask about Hispanic ethnicity but not other ethnicities? You know, so you're either Hispanic or white Hispanic. That's what my assumption is. I mean, it's so interesting why that will be important. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I know when I was younger, they actually didn't have Hispanic before.
Mm.
Hispanic or Latinx or anything. They didn't have that before. So we've come a bit like more inclusive a little bit for adding that, but it also does limit, you know, what you can identify yourself as, because we're not just one thing. A lot of people are more than, you know, just Hispanic or Latino, and it kind of takes away, if you answer it one way, it takes away the other parts of your cultures.
Mm-hmm.
To be quite honest, I've actually never liked the fact that they have those check boxes on anything. First of all, I don't see what it matters when it comes to filling out paperwork or needing it. Identifying me by my culture or my color should not matter. And so I find it, I've always found it offensive that it's on anything, whether it's the Hispanic box, it's the white box, it's the black box. To me, it's just, there shouldn't be a box. I understand, you know, general demographics and needing to know that, kind of like the census 2020, but at the same token, like, how much do you need to go in? And if they keep adding boxes, next thing you know, I mean, how many boxes can we check? Because I'm a Latinx token. I have a lot in my background. So I could be checking all day and continue doing this. I never understood the point. I personally don't like it.
Mm-hmm. 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 Well, you know, let's switch the conversation just a little bit to today is all about, you know, your day in the life of your experiences here at TCC, right? And so I believe that most people in the webinar today wants to know about, you know, your life here. And so let's start out with saying, you know, um, what is it like to be a student here, and your identity here at TCC?
Can you repeat the
Yes.
question? Yeah.
You know, let me ask the question. Actually, are you fully able to express your identity as a Hispanic Latinx individual here at TCC, like, with your daily life as a student?
Personally, I feel like I've had that opportunity because, you know, growing up here, a lot of people, I also get it from a lot of the Hispanic and Latinx community, that just because I was born and raised here in the United States, and we are very Americanized, that it's like you don't kind of have a right to identify yourself as, like, before I felt like I didn't have the right to identify myself as Hispanic or Mexican, because I was born here. And I started trying to learn more about my culture once I started college, and I joined HSA, which is the Hispanic Student Association. And I've learned, a lot about my culture. And I feel like we have those resources where we can connect with other students that feel the same way. I never really met people who felt the same way I did until like I joined HSA, and I just feel like it gives you more opportunities to find like-minded individuals and people with similar experiences to be able to open those types of conversations.
I completely agree with Alicia. I was raised speaking both Spanish and English at school, and actually citizen.
I think we're having a little bit of difficulty hearing you. Yes, I think you're cutting it out a little bit. And now you're silent. we had you there for a minute. No, we cannot. So as maybe it'll help if you kind of mute yourself and probably call in. And then Karen, I didn't know if you wanted to kind of talk on the issue a little bit while Patty is doing that.
Yes, so for me, being here in like 2013 or so, 2006 actually, um, it was very diverse when I got here. So there were always Hispanic people around me, white, and many other races, African, Asians. So I didn't really feel left out or even like this spotlight was on me. It was very diverse. So I didn't really thought that I was in alone. Many other people were going through the same thing like I was in sixth grade. We were all coming here for the first time, learning the language. We had no idea how things were going to turn out, but we did the best that we could. In TCC, the same, kind of the same thing. It's very diverse. So I as well found HSA. I made more friends. Like Alicia said, we have students, and we had members that are not Hispanic. So as a Hispanic member going to TCC, even though it's a community college, it is very diverse, and it has a really good ambient for me. I have been able to talk about my culture with HSA. I've been, before COVID, the library was able to uh, let us borrow their display at Saudis, and we made ofrendas or altars for Day of the Dead, and that was one of the great things that we could share with the school and the students, and let them know how we celebrate things, and also if they had questions about why we had certain things. It was a great way to get communication. I started with the students like that because it's always great to see someone else's culture that you're not used to seeing, but they are welcome, and they would just want to let you know what that means, and it's great. So I think I have been able to be active and interact with others and not feel bad about being Latin or Hispanic. So um, I think for me it has been good. I had not encountered many negative effects for say.
Well, that's great. I think, do we have Patty back? I, I don't think we still, we probably still cannot hear you. I don't know if you're still on mute for your phone. Oh, you're on there. I don't know how we can get your sound working. And we continue to work on that. What we're going to do is we're going to go to another question that was kind of asked, and you're saying that you pretty much had some really good experiences here at TCC, but we know that that's not always the case with your colleagues and other students and everything. What are some of the challenges that you have heard of or seen at the institution outside of your own experience?
Outside of my own experience, like I try to be very positive. So even if things don't look good or they don't make me feel good in a certain way, I try to look at the bright side. Like, okay, there were certain times when I could sympathize with other students when we had to go to advisement or when we had to register and enroll for college. And our parents, they don't understand the language very well. And we had to explain to them what was going on, and sometimes they couldn't understand very well, or they had other questions or other concepts of how things were supposed to go, and it didn't go like they thought, so they get more confused. Um, and I had other students go through the same thing because they're first generation college students, and they also have the same thing, like going through the process and not knowing how to go about the whole thing, and trying to figure out or find an advisor that spoke Spanish so that they could be explained that in a simpler way to them so that they could go back to their families and tell them so and so helped me through this, so didn't have to worry. Um, and those having issues like that where there's uh, students that don't have the knowledge of, or they aren't told who to go to, so they kind of get lost in the process. Uh, that, and some people also, some students, they don't have the resources, like their both parents work full time and they don't know how they're gonna get to the college. So taking the bus, the transport is one also of the other things, issues that they have encountered that I can relate. Um, I took the bus for a whole year, and it was kind of confusing at first because it was a lot of routes, and it's nice that TCC has the TCC students drive free. So some of them didn't knew that, and I found some of them on the bus, and I just approached them and told them, hey, so you're new, what's your major? And then I kind of told them, so you're riding for free, right? They're like, no, what do you mean we're riding for free? So that's one of the ways that I try to look out for them as well. Sometimes they just go into class and get out and try to get home, not really trying to or have the time to experience other things at the school. So just looking out for them and seeing maybe these people need more help, more resources that they don't know there is. So that's one of the things that, in a way, has affected students like myself.
Oh. Anyone else? Okay. I just don't want to cut you off if you're jumping on. Oh, I see, Patty. You muted yourself. Oh, you just mute yourself again. You was just.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yay. So I apologize. Follow-up question. I missed your question. I was listening to Karen, but I missed your question.
Oh, I was just asking, even if you had a positive experience here at TCC, you probably know of other students who probably didn't have such a positive experience, but what some of the challenges that they're having, and if you could speak on any of those.
I actually have not ran into that issue of other students finding a challenge at TCC. Speaking on experience at TCC, it's actually been extremely wonderful for me because, as I've stated, a lot of people don't even know that I am a Latinx. So it's just finding that group and that opportunity to be able to express ourselves and learn about our different cultures, even though we're all in the Latinx community, whether it's the food, the conversation, politics, whatever it may be. It's amazing. It's actually a great opportunity for my family as well. My oldest daughter, she lives in New York now, but when she was here and along with my youngest daughter, who's 10, and they're 10 and 16, they've been a part of a lot of the HSA meetings and get-togethers. And just recently, when we were with Miss Benya and we were serving downtown, Alicia and Karen at the Food on the Move, my 10-year-old was there to be able to support. So it opens up a window of opportunity to see that we can actually get together as a community with everyone else, regardless of our culture difference. And I've never had that. Not in high school. I was homeschooled as a kid, so, but not in high school, not even in the military. Everybody just pockets themselves off and, like you said, stay in groups, and it's not like that at TCC.
Fantastic. We had a question come in, and I think that you kind of answered it a little bit, and I think Karen did too, is when negative events or situations occur at TCC, if there's any, who at TCC do you turn to for help and advice? So that's one part of the question. And then the second part is, how can TCC reach out to incoming Latinx Hispanic students who might feel nervous to come to TCC so they can feel like they belong here? I can repeat the question. I guess the first one is, who do you turn to at TCC for help and advice?
So I personally ask a lot of questions. And if somebody doesn't know, they don't know, and we try to find the answers. Whether it's together, we figure it out together. There's not been a time where I've ever had an issue that I didn't get help. And if, one person at TCC didn't know, they would always turn around and find someone else to help them and answer it, regardless of what the question was. I actually got into HSA because of my American government political science professor, Dr. Knox Brown.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not Hispanic, Latinx, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like at TCC, you can go to anyone for anything that you do need. And if nobody knows, if that person doesn't know, somebody's going to know, and we're going to figure it out. So we work together as a team at TCC. And as far as reaching out to the community, I think TCC does a great job. Different professors speaking on, HSA. We get the emails. We get they put emails out in the daily. They put it out as well. They have flyers up of different events. So I feel like there could be there's never enough, of anything. You could always speak on everything more. But I think we're doing a great job at TCC of just reaching out to everyone, whether students coming in or in the community, to advise them of the opportunities that they have, and even scholarships and whatever it is.
I think personally, one of the great things about TCC is that if you have a question and you don't know who to turn to, you can pretty much go to someone, a teacher or a viceman or one of the many resource centers, and they will gladly help you. Even if they don't have the answer for this question, they will find someone and direct you to someone that might probably know. So I like that you can go to a teacher and they can be like, oh, well, I can help you find someone that will help you. And I like that you don't really have to look. They help you. They are with you. They follow up. Hey, were you able to get that sorted out? And um, if I have people that need or have problems, I know that I try to help them as best as I can. And even if I don't have their answers or their solutions, I will do my best to help them find someone that will.
I don't want to go into the next question. If Alicia wanted to say anything, I didn't know.
Oh no, Patty and Gaden said it perfectly. There's always somebody. If it's not an advisor, it's a teacher, and they'll help you get that answer the best they can. And they said it as, I think, if you can't find it from a student, you'll find it from a teacher or a department head, an advisor, and they'll try their best to help you come up with the solutions.
Well, I mean, so I am so happy that we at TCC is working together to make sure that you all getting served. I mean, it was always good to hear that we are accessible and we're able to help as many students as we can. And I know that we would love to have more personnel that's able to be bilingual and speak Spanish, to help a little bit more and to serve our students a little bit more. And so, I kind of want to talk about what's going on in the world right now and how it's affecting you. I mean, all over the news, we're hearing about COVID-19, right? We are affected by COVID-19. We know that it has a global impact, a nation's impact, a community impact, and of course, it has impacted our college, right? And I can only imagine that it has probably has some kind of impact on you and your families, right? And so I just wanted to know, how has COVID-19 impacted you, your community, and you thinking about your education now going forward? Yes.
Personally, I've had family members that, have lost their jobs because of COVID, and it's also hard for them to get health insurance right now. It's a really big thing. Like my grandpa, he lost his job, and it's been hard for him to get those resources. And also, since a lot of these people have lost their jobs, they don't really know where to go from there, because a lot of jobs available for Hispanic or Latinx people are hands-on jobs where they have to be with a lot of people, and it could be really hard to keep socially distanced. So there's always that risk for them too. And a lot of people are very proud, and they might not want to get resources like, for example, Food on the Move, where we try to give groceries to underprivileged areas and stuff. And they, before, my grandpa has that whole notion that he's just like, well, unless we physically can't, then I don't want to take for someone else who needs it more than me. And also with schooling, I have some family members and friends that their children are learning online, and a lot of people have strictly Hispanic speaking parents, and it's hard for them to help their children with schooling and having them actually understand the material and keep on top of that while also working. It's just a bit harder for a lot of Hispanic and Latinx people to, find other resources that will help them without confusing them or making them feel like they have more of a challenge just to, like, more of a challenge or more obstacles just to overcome to get what they need now.
Wow. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Anyone else wanted to comment on that? Yes.
Sure. As a single parent, it is extremely, it's difficult. It's fascinating what you can get through, what everybody's been getting through. But it has slowed me down with school a little bit personally, because it did take a toll on my mental health. And I know that that affects a lot of people, and we don't pay attention to things like that, but it affects children as well. You have children who in their daily lives, we don't realize how dependent we are on school. They go to school, they eat breakfast there, they eat lunch there, they get their snacks, so everything changing from having a schedule to now just being stuck and cooped up in the house. And it became a little bit frustrating, and it took my state of mind, how I was like, oh, I'm going to finish school in this amount of time, and I'm going to do it too. I probably need an extra semester. So, but it's about not giving up. It's completely about not giving up. Right now, I am a full online student, even though I do my work study at TCC Southeast Campus. I took it to have the people interaction, but I'm online to be able to make sure that I am available to my child if she needs me. She's in school, but if anything were to happen, I can just, I have the time and availability to her. But I feel like, along with Alicia was saying, how it's a pride thing. We are all hurting, and especially when it comes to certain communities, we don't want to ask for help. I don't think that we should have to ask for help as much as we are. And when I say we, I mean anyone in general. Because of this pandemic, we should be given a little bit more help than, we feel like we should ask for. But you should never be, I don't know if this is the term that I should use, never be too proud to beg. If you need something, we should be able to just ask for it. And it might take some work. We might have to do some community service and volunteering or whatever it is to be able to get what we need. But we really should be there for everyone. It has been very trying, and it's taking a toll on everyone, because you still don't know how things are going to turn out. We're back in school, and like she said, for the parents who have to work but don't have childcare, they have to send their kids to school, or even the ones who have their children home and they are doing, virtual, but it's very difficult for them. It's just so much that we're learning to do that we've never had to do before. And it affects anyone and everyone, because now people are dependent on babysitters or dependent on their jobs that some are losing. And I just feel like we just need a lot of prayer. But I feel like at some point we got this. We're gonna make it. It's not the end. This is live to fight another day. So we should be good.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, I don't know how much it affected our community. I didn't really go out much when it was normal. So on a normal day, I would be doing the same thing I would be doing right now. It did has it had um, it affected my family in a way that I had to take over my sister's job because she went to Mexico during the break, March, before spring break. She went to Mexico. She's still there taking care of my grandma. So I had to take over her job plus find another job because I was also laid off. So it wasn't really that bad, but my mom and I, we really had to be careful like what we had to be doing and how we had to take care of ourselves because we do with clean houses. I take care of a elderly couple who's the husband, he's at risk, so I really need to make sure that I take all the precautions that I can. So for this, we just had to stop going out as much, figure out exactly when we had to go out. Um, my mom had to verify with everybody every week whenever they asked if they wanted her to come or not, and if I could go along with her because sometimes they don't want a lot of people in their houses. So it didn't really affect me much, but I know that other people, it affected them a lot. Like Alicia was saying, it wasn't, uh, I wasn't blind to it. Like I know this affected a lot of people. Um, I I try to go and help as much as I can during Food on the Move as well, because I know people do need it, and I like giving back to the community. So going and finding nonprofits to help out, even if it's just for an hour, it's something I will do anytime I can. Um, it did, sorry guys, it did made it a bit easier to be able to attend meetings. I forgot to say in the beginning, I'm also part of the Student Government Association. I'm the director of civic engagement, and being able to just have a meeting in my phone or in my computer anywhere is nice, because then I wouldn't have to rush to Metro Campus or rush to Saudis, and being able to have those meetings with them was also nice, that I didn't have to spend more time driving someplace and then driving back and worrying my mom because she does worry whenever I stay out later than 8. So it kind of worked out for me, but then on the other hand, I try to make sure that I take all the precautions that I need because I need to take care of the people I look after. Other than that, um, um, it hasn't been bad. We just need to make sure that we follow social distancing, that we have hand sanitizer with us, and that we make sure we have our mask on whenever we are somewhere else. I've seen a lot of people that don't do those things, and it will affect them one way or another.
I mean, you all bring up some really good points, and you know, and I think that you are literally showcasing, you know, what I mean, what the effects of COVID-19 is on your family and the people around you, and you feel it, right? I mean, people are losing their jobs, people are getting laid off, people are struggling, making ends meet. And you know, it's very difficult, not only on students, on students who maybe just out of high school, doesn't have uh, you know what I mean, some responsibilities. I mean, I think you all have some responsibilities, but you know what I mean, to the single parent who has to take care of their parents. I think within your community, you're always worried about your family, right? And you're always willing to step in to make sure that your family is being taken care of. And no matter if it's COVID or not, your family comes first, right? And so I think that's something that is always on your mind. And as you continue to, continue to get your education and be the best person that you're able to be, sometimes you do have to take that extra semester, right, Patty, to reach your goals, or make some adjustments in your life in order to reach your goals and to succeed. You know what? I really hope that you all are really taking advantage of all the resources that we have here at TCC. It sounds like you do, but also to your other colleagues and schoolmates, that you're telling them about the resources that we have here at TCC, and that you're utilizing them. Calling me in my office, calling wellness services, advisement, assessment, any area, like you said, is willing to help you out. So I hope that message is being communicated throughout the whole campus and everything. And I love how everyone is saying that it's going to get better, because you have to have that positive outlook, right? It's going to get better. Yeah, it has to be. This is the low of the low. So thank you for that. And so I know that we've been on for just a little bit, and I know we have a few minutes to kind of top off the hour. But I wanted to ask you, if you do, actually, I'm going to ask the audience, if you have any more questions, please put them in the question and answer feature or in the chat. We'll definitely ask the students a question. And, I see right here that Alicia is reaching out to all the students, let your students know that she is a success coach and she's willing to help any student. That's her phone number there that you can call, and she'll be able to assist any student. So write that down, save that. And that's anyone in the audience also. But we did discuss a lot of things. We discussed, kind of your day in the life here at TCC, how COVID is affecting your life and your community life, and the challenges behind that. Latinx, Hispanic, what you prefer to be called. But I think it pretty much came down to ask, right? Ask me and I'll tell you, right? Don't be afraid to have a conversation with me. And then we also talked about a little bit about, we're doing pretty well here at TCC. We just hope that we have a little bit more bilingual personnel here so we can feel connected. But you know what? After all that discussion, I wanted to ask you this, okay? And this is the last question from me. Is there anything that you want us in this community to know that I left out, that I didn't ask? So a question that I didn't ask, but you want us to think about. This is an opportunity for your voice to be heard. So please let us know.
I will say this. I feel like we do need more engagement from our students. I know that we have a lot of resources and we have a lot of opportunities for them, but I don't think that we have, especially with COVID, it's pretty hard right now. Prior to, I know we had a lot of events at school and stuff, but I feel like it's just not enough coming from students, and not just students, but if staff, if anybody, even family members in the community, make it a point to see what they can do, even if it's once a month, whether it's working with a group, volunteering with a group like HSA, or even, any other group, what it is, and just finding out what events do you guys have on the list. Just put your hand somewhere and help a little bit. Because if everybody were to do something, then slowly everything is going to change. But I feel like we need to push that more. We need more community service. That's the only way to also have proper human interaction, whether it's getting on a Zoom and talking to each other. To me, it's just, I think COVID has taught us how to no longer be dehumanized a lot, because we have had to get on to talk to people and do more. I don't know how to explain it, but we just need to get out there and just, like we said, have more conversations and have more opportunity for community service and involvement. And you'll really get to learn about the people that you're surrounded by. Even as an adult, I have kids coming out of high school who are willing to talk to me and have discussions or ask me questions, because I am open to doing that. I'm not just the old mom. So I'm a student too, but I'm here for others, and I'm more than happy to help. Like I said, if I can't find the information, I know someone else who will know the information. I just think we all have to live our lives with an open mind and just be open to everything.
So I know I missed the first few questions. I apologize for that. I was having a bit of an issue with my computer. One of the questions that maybe we could just talk about is letting people know about what they can do in the community. Like right now, the elections are coming up, so I would encourage all young people, all young voters to register and to vote, because I know it might not seem like it makes a difference, but it really does. So just register. There's people at TC that can help you fill out a ballot, fill out the form to send it. You can go online as well. If also one of the things is for young Latinx coming into TC, one of the best things to do for them is just approach them, say hi to them. Some of them might be conscious about what they might be doing there, so they won't be really sure. But as long as they have a friendly face to look forward to, or someone they can trust to talk to, there'll be a good support network beginning for them.
Great, thank you, Alicia.
I can't really think of a question right now. I mean, I agree with guidance, like just finding ways you can engage more, and also be able to connect with advisors and students to answer any questions.
Fantastic. Well, I want to say, thank you to each and every one of you for coming on to the Zoom call and having this conversation with me. We got to continue to have these kind of talks to just get to know who you are, right? This help us build on our capacity. So thank you so much for helping us, understand just a little bit about your culture and your thoughts, knowing that every student is different, and knowing that we cannot just put you in this large sum, right? We can't just put everyone in this one box, but to get to know you on an individual level. And so thank you so much for being here and your input. I also want to say thank you to Adam and Leah for interpreting for us. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And then, of course, Carla for setting up our webinar. And for everyone who is in on this Zoom meeting or this Zoom webinar today, thank you for taking some time out your day to have this conversation with us. I just want to let you know that this is the first installment of our celebration of Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month. And so our next presentation is actually going to be next week, same time, 3 o'clock. And next week we will have a great guest speaker, and we will be talking about debunking Latina stereotypes in media. And so hopefully you see the sign up in the daily. If you want more information, please email us and we'll be able to send you some more details about it. So thank you so much for being with us today, and I hope to see you at our next event. And ladies, once again, thank you. You all are amazing, and I hope to talk to you soon. But that's it. Our conversation is paused for now. All right. Okay then. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.